Here we go.
You are listening to the X Factor of Safety on Safety FM.
Hello, 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 hello. Welcome back, everybody. Hope everybody's having a wonderful evening. It is 7 o'clock on the dot. I'm in my drop down. No, I'm just joking. We're here with this Fireside Chat. You know what we do on Tuesdays, every Tuesday, coming to you live for our nice Fireside Chat. We are live streaming across all the platforms. I didn't want to say multiverse because I know that Jay Allen likes to use that word, and that's his word. So again, all the platforms where you catch your streams at, safetyfm.com, safetyfm.live, and the Safety FM app. So again, we are also on the radio station, on the air. Those that are tuning in on your drive home, thank you for tuning in. We'd greatly appreciate you being here. And so today we are going to be talking about, hold on, let me get the cool little overlay that I got, my little ghost up there. Oh, wrong. Yeah, my little ghost right here. Getting ready for Halloween. So speaking of Halloween, how are you guys going to be doing your trick-or-treating, those that have little ones? I would definitely like to know how trick-or-treating and Halloween will be going this year. It's definitely going to be a little bit different. It's going to be something that is unusual because it's not normal. It's definitely not normal. But yeah, light up the chat. Let me know how you guys are doing your trick-or-treating, trunk-or-treating, whatever it may be. So today's Fireside Chat, we are definitely going to talk to you and give you a little bit of insight on a couple of things. But first, before I start there, I just want to thank everybody that has been, tuning in, has been sharing, has been liking all the stuff that we've been doing here, the X Factor Safety. All of you guys' efforts and everybody's content that I've been seeing and, engaging with. Keep up the great work. All the stuff that, you do on a day-to-day, everything that you're out there putting, out there for the world to see, some kind of message, some kind of value, some kind of content that you want somebody to listen to engage with. Keep doing it. I definitely like engaging with Rich Cardona. And again, he had a very good point with one of his posts the other day. Actually, it was this morning that I think I came across it. That my audience, this community isn't going to be the same as Rich's. So we have our communities, we have the people, and again, people, not saying they jump ship, but again, they want to hear it from a different avenue. They want to hear it from a different perspective. Could be the same message, but you're out there engaging and putting the content out there. You don't know who's going to, take that content, for what it is, who's going to gain some value out of it. So the best thing to do, just put it out there. Do what we do, put it out there. If you're thinking about starting a podcast, do it. Stop thinking about it. Just do it. If you're thinking about live streaming, do it. Your phone, believe it or not, you can live stream now from these things here. Quick in a hurry. You set it up. Preferably if you have the back camera does a little bit better than the front camera, but still, you're still able to do that stuff. But no, put the content out there. You put it out there, people will consume, no matter what it is. Now, obviously, if you're just putting a whole bunch of bull crap that's out there, putting a whole bunch of bullshit that's out there and it has no substance, it's not valuable, it's just memes and bullshit, well, guess what? Nobody's going to engage with it. You can go over to Facebook for that. You can go over to, find them on YouTube. But, and again, we're streaming across all those platforms. So no knocking on those platforms. But again, make sure that you're tailoring your content to the message and the value you're trying to bring. That's all I got to say. So Fireside Chat, what are we talking about today? Talking about a little bit of claims management. How do we get into, managing the claim once, the incident's already happened. We've already given the first aid, or it goes beyond a little more first aid. What do we do past the first aid? How do we manage those claims? And who is managing the claims? Is it part of the safety professional's job to manage the claim? Is it part of HR's position to manage the claim? Is it the risk management personnel that we have in the office that needs to manage the claim? Who manages the claim? So, and the reason why I'm talking about this is because it was brought up as one of the talking points that we should be talking about, especially for new safety professionals that get into the industry that don't know how to process a claim, that don't know how to engage with your Ahmed doctors, don't know the questions to ask. So, and what I mean is, there's certain stipulations that you are trying to go out there to the doctor. And again, somebody got hurt. We know somebody's got hurt, but you have to ask the right questions when you get to the doctor, when you take them to the doctor. Mr. Donald said it's a collaborative effort. Yes, sir, it is. I believe wholeheartedly it is. It takes everybody to make sure that the claim is processed accordingly, to make sure that the individual is taken care of properly. But again, where do you start? Obviously, after the claim, the injury has already happened. The person's already been to the doctor. It's gone past their first aid. Now it's a claim. What steps do we take after we start that claim process? Who is privy to that claim information? Does a new safety professional that's taking somebody to the doctor have the access to the claim management system to input a claim, to be able to get a claim number so that way it can be paid under the company insurance? Right. That's one of the biggest things that, having that collaborative effort of everybody actually being involved, you're able to give that information. And again, it's not for everybody. It's information that is privy for you to be able to give to the doctor, to the the clinic, the ER, whenever you end up hitting getting to there and getting in that claim process. But claim management, how are you checking up on the individual after the fact? Yes, we know we have a claim. We know we have to continue to check up on the individual, but how are you checking up on him or her? How are we expressing that we do care about the individual? It goes a long way when you're not just, hey, you got hurt, I took you to the doctor, now you're back to work. No, it goes a little bit further than that. What if they put him on or her on light duty? What if they put them on, some type of restrictions? They can't use their hand. Now we have to figure out in that, claim management, return to work status. Do we have a return to work program? Compassion and engagement. Yes, sir. I agree. Because without compassion, without that, understanding their situation, understanding, and not making them feel bad. That's the biggest thing, not making them feel bad because they got hurt. Having that compassion and saying, hey, we know you got hurt. We're going to try the best we can to accommodate, what's to come next. But don't make them feel like crap. A lot of companies do that. A lot of companies ended up coming and say, oh, you're at fault. The employee is at fault, and try to place blame. No. We try to figure out what they were thinking about, what's on their mind, what could be, impeding them from actually doing their task. What step did they miss, right, when they were thinking about X, Y, and Z? So Donald said it could be as simple as asking, how are we doing? Yep. And reinforce, that we care. And again, it kind of goes back to basic people caring and people skills. You got to have those soft skills to be able to be successful in any role that is requiring to, be part of the claims management process. Some, managers, some supervisors, some leadership do not have people skills. They don't have those soft people skills. They learn them and they try, but 9 times out of 10, if you're from, I want to say the old school, right? If you've been around a while and you're from the old school, you as a leader, you kind of get, set in your ways. And I'm not saying all leaders, trust me, don't take that, take that very lightly. It's not, bashing anybody, but again, there has been those leaders that call themselves leaders, but they don't have soft people skills. And what do I mean by soft people skills? The compassion, the caring, the empathy, the stuff that, again, emotion. It's not yes, you do have a well-oiled machine running a business, all your assets, your workers, everything is being pushed into it. But without the soft people skills, your assets, which are your workers, are going to, the morale is going to be down. There's going to be, the culture is going to be crap. So those soft people skills, showing and reinforcing that you care. Mr. Donald, love it. As safety professionals, we can be their voice and advocate to help them navigate the claim process. Yes, I agree. And sometimes you do have a work comp claims manager that takes care of it, after it gets to the clinic, and then they start communicating and correspondence going back and forth. But as a safety professional, we're still heavily involved in managing the claim, taking them to their appointments, making sure that they are going to their appointments, checking up on them, making sure that they're okay, that their restrictions or their return to work status is good to go, those types of things. But again, it takes that collaborative effort to make sure that claims process is executed properly. Shout out Tim Jones, Matt Lawrence, Ricky Burks. Thank you for tuning in. So now now the spin on it. Okay, we took care of the individual that got hurt. We know he got hurt. It was at work. Now, how do we ask the questions to somebody that says they got hurt at work, but didn't get hurt at work? Or there might be that question of, did they really get hurt at work? It leverages beverages. Oh, okay. There you go. Autocorrect. Hey, I was going to say beverages. What kind of beverages are we talking about? I believe it is all about the relationships we build. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it is. It definitely takes the relationship building to have that trust, to have that, engagement and person to come to you and say, hey, I got hurt on the job. Without having those relationships in the workplace, guess what? They're going to hide it from you. Or if you're in a crap safety professionals, and trust me, there's a couple out there that, say they're safety professionals, but don't give a shit about the employee. They don't know what the hell they're talking about, and they're steering them in the wrong direction. Those safety professionals end up getting nobody reporting incidents. And when there is incidents, they're very, very big and catastrophic. I'm not saying all, and again, I take that with the very, very lightly and with the grain of salt, very lightly. I'm not saying all, but there is some. Okay, there is some that are just crap. It is what it is. Okay, but again, we have to engage. We have to be able to get past that, right? We have to be able to get past somebody saying, why did you get hurt? Well, nobody knows why the hell they got hurt. It was an accident. Something happened. The real question is, what were you thinking about? Right? What's on your mind? What can I help you? Help me help you. So that way I understand, while you were doing your tasks, where the injury came from. Were the instructions given by your supervisor or, your mid-level manager, your foreman, your superintendent, were they clear and concise? Did you understand them? And it boils down to sometimes the communication line isn't all the way there. Jeremiah Johnson said weight handling, especially. Yes, sir. Weight handling, anything, and that, and a lot of times, the musculoskeletal, disorders, the MSDs that end up happening on job sites come from poor posture, bad lifting position, lifting too much weight. And again, a lot of young guns, a lot of younger employees think that, and again, I used to be like that. I lift 200 pounds, no problem. Now I'm paying for it. My knees hurt, my back hurts. You don't want that. Luckily, I never threw my back out. I did dislocate a hip one time being in a confined space, but I popped it back into place and got out. I was a little sore, but again, those types of things. Are we teaching the right ergonomics, the proper team lifting techniques? Do we have a cap on what the capacity is to prevent some of those soft tissue injuries that could last months or years, right? Are we using, wearables to assist in those types of things? I.e. HeroWear. HeroWear has, and again, not sponsored by them, just the talk that I had with Matt Marino from HeroWear is, it looks like a harness. It wraps around your thighs, wraps around your arms, and it has a body belt, but it eliminates the stressors that you put on your back when you're lifting heavy equipment, when you're lifting heavy material, right? And that's usually what happens. But again, if you're lifting incorrectly, your ergonomics are not there. Guess what happens? Then you end up having an injury because of those ergonomics. Matt Lawrence said material handling. Yes, sir. It's also up to the employee to bring it up then and not wait a week to address the problem. I agree that that's big, and again, having the employee understand that they're not going to get in trouble because they reported an injury, because we want to know about it as a safety professional. As a company, I would expect them to know that we need to know about it to begin with, to wrap our hands around it, to start the claims process if need be. But we want to get them the right triage, right? We want to, get the topical creams, ointments, ice packs, if it's a rolled ankle, get the foot elevated in time. Sometimes you want to keep your boot on. You don't ever want to take your boot off because the boot is actually keeping the swelling down. You put ice around it, depending on how bad or how severe, those types of things. But yes, I agree with that. You got to be able to, and again, this is where a good safety professional, good foreman, good leads, good management come into play and drive that from the top down to the employees and say, you're not going to get in trouble if you get in it, have an accident at work, have an injury at work. You're not going to get in trouble. There should be no disciplinary actions for people getting hurt at work. And I say that with certain stipulations. Obviously, if somebody's high or drunk on the job, me personally, there is zero tolerance for it. But again, those are the types of things that you have to iron out from Jump Street in order to make your culture more solidified, to have that upward and downward communication. Hey, you know what? Pedro, I got hurt. Okay. How'd you get hurt? What were you doing? What were you thinking about? How can I help? Is it first aid? Do you want to go see the doctor? Those types of things. And again, you have a checklist, you have certain things and certain questions that you ask in order to get to, the next step. Is it a first aid? Can it be taken care of in-house? Do you have like a care on site clinic or phone number that you call to get them taken care of on site? Is there, do you have enough people that are first aid CPR trained to give the right triage? Say somebody does cut their, cut their hand. Somebody does get something in their eye. Do we have the right materials to deal with an injury? The right people to deal with an injury? If we don't, then guess what? Your last resort, and it's not always the best one. And I say this from, my younger days, and it wasn't always the best one, not knowing, but, taking them to, the clinic, the ER, that's a big bill. Not to mention they end up using other tools. They end up prescribing medications for certain things, which then becomes recordables. And again, recordables are going to be recordables. If we're looking at that and we're trying to, maintain our zero or target zero, that is a goal that should never be our almighty, we have to hit zero goal. If you're trying to hit zero, guess what? You're never going to hit zero. Okay. You have to put certain things into place. You have to be able to have a good culture with upward and downward communication, good claims management, engaging, good morale, good leadership, good, executive management that actually cares and shows, that they're on the floor, that they're on the job site, that they're seen. And then you see the numbers, you see the trends start to go down. You see your KPIs start to hit where they need to. Matt Lawrence said, fit for duty. That happens a lot of times. And see, the fit for duty happens a lot of times when you're going to, some of the chemical plants, some of the, the nuclear plants, when you're out doing construction sites and you're going on a new construction site. But even when you hire onto a company, there should be a fit for duty program. And I say that because, working in a steel fabrication manufacturing site, fabricating steel, you're lifting, you're maneuvering, and some of those plates are heavy. And obviously there was a cap that, of weight that, one person could only lift, X, two people could only lift X, lift X. After that, you had to use a crane or a fork truck to move it. That's just what it is. But again, you send them through that fit for duty program, and the clinic that you have set up has the capability of being able to kind of mimic what activities or what weights, climbing, overhead work, dealing with tools over your head, those types of things. It goes a long way. If you have a fit for duty program, great. If you don't, I suggest you try to, look into getting one, because it definitely, any new hires that you start coming, that start coming in, anybody that you have that will, worked at a previous employer, don't know how they were, don't know if they got injured over there, the fit for duty will kind of tell you the telltale signs. They say, yes, they're fit for duty, but they have X, Y, and Z. So that's one of those things that you are able to kind of monitor and see throughout, their work. I believe that the safety presence in the fields, crucial to the process of incident reporting. Develop the crew, the foreman, the supervisors, develop the relationships. And it goes a long way to show that we are all human and that we care about them. Yes, sir, Mr. Kramer. Great minds think alike. And again, this is all stuff that is, again, those soft people skills. You have to teach those, your supervisor, your foreman, probably are from the old school, 10, 15, 20 years. Some, have been taught the soft skills that they need. Some of them are stuck in their ways and they need to be shown. They need to be taught. And again, the adult learner has to hear and be, shown 3 to 5 times for them to actually grasp it. But then they have to put it into play for 28 days straight for it to become a habit. So that type of stuff, you actually have to practice. You put it out there. You are on the floor. You're engaging your supervisors. You're, have them on the safety walks with you. Hey, what are you seeing out there? What could be one of the biggest causes of, the injuries, the ergonomic injuries that we're having in your department? Not to single them out, but to see what they are looking at and kind of give them the outside view. Okay, well, let's look at it from a different perspective. Just are they watching the employees? Are they engaging enough to say, hey, stop, that doesn't look right, you're going to hurt yourself, or they just like, get it done. Because again, if you're all about production, one or two guys gets hurt, guess what? Who ends up doing it? Who has to pick up the slack? You, the supervisor, the foreman. I cannot stress that enough. Great minds think alike. Yes, sir, we do. Who else do we have? Oh, Heather Maciel, my wife. Hey, babe, how are you? Luis Antonio Valdez. My man, Philip Rizzo. What's going on, Phil? If your rapport is poor, it will show with your people. In all things, trust is the currency of leadership. You have to walk the walk and talk the talk. Great to see you. Greatly appreciate you showing up. My man said inclusion. Definitely not exclusion. You can't single them out. You can't exclude them. You have to include everybody that's involved. For the simple fact that, again, your workforce, your supervisors, your management are part of your workforce. And they end up talking more to the workforce than some of the upper management does. So when that happens, you then have to make sure that your mid-level supervisors bring those items that are critical to preventing injury, those items that we're seeing out in the field or on the shop floor, to management, that they know how to use their upward communication, going forward, and say, hey, and raise that red flag. Stop the production line if you have to, superintendent, supervisors, foremen, stop. It's not all about production. Okay. To be productive, you have to be safe. Right. And again, it runs that parallel, that fine parallel line of production and safety. And we're constantly jumping back and forth. Yes, we're being safe. Yes, we're being productive, but you can't be productive without being safe. And if you're safe, you're going to get a shitload of production. That's just, again, because you have all your personnel there. They're watching out for each other. Your foremen are out there watching out as well. It's another set of eyes. I come out there. I'm just looking for the low-hanging fruit. You guys are driving and gals are driving the culture, the mindset that's out there. So being able to harness that in your mid-level management to be able to use their voices for their people, for their departments, right, for their crews, and then after that, being able to take that information that they get, have them do like a little internal survey of their crew, and then take that information up to management. Have one of them sit in on a board meeting, on an executive planning meeting, on a scheduling meeting, so they see the other side of what goes on. And they're like, damn, I'm helping this. I'm helping reach all these numbers and, get the end of year bonuses. If we're proactive, I'm keeping my guys safe. I'm making sure all of them are going home. So that way we don't have to deal with claims management. That's what we started off with, right? Stop. What you want me to stop? Jeremiah said absolutely. And again, it boils down to, like Phil said, if you have a bad or poor rapport, it'll show in the people. It'll show in the tone that the people talk about you, right? And again, as safety professionals, people talk shit about us all the time. We know. It's understandable. We're not liked all the time. We are not everybody's best friend when we're out there. Because again, people have given safety professionals, and I say people, I'm talking about previous safety professionals, have given that aura of, do as I say, not as I do type mentality. Go out there and lead and rule with an iron fist. You can't do that. you're going to get nowhere. Brittany, who's talking crap about my bro? Hey, good to see you in the chat. Matt Lawrence, it'll help that a foreman checks on his guys, like when it's hot, see if they need water and make sure that they're good. Yes. But and to that, Matt, I like that you bring that up. But again, go a little further than, not only when it gets hot, but, hey, do you need an extra break? Could you use an extra 10 minutes to kind of gather your thoughts? I see you're busting your ass. You're working super hard. Could that extra, 10 minutes help you out to kind of get you back focused on what we're doing before we move on to the next step? Nice. I applaud the stop work authority. Yeah. And again, the stop work authority has to be used accordingly. And again, like on a construction site, you use the stop work authority if the activity changes and nobody is aware, if there's obviously an immediate danger to life and health. But is it grounds to stop the entire job? No. And some people think, especially like newer professionals coming in, younger professionals that say, hey, you have stop work authority. Well, when you give them that, and tell them they have the stop work authority, they want to go shut down the entire job site. You have to, again, teach them. They have to be taught what the stop work authority is, why it's useful, and how to use it. And I agree with you, and I applaud it as well. If you use it in the right way, it will be beneficial for all. We tell all the new hires that come onto a construction site, you have the authority to stop work. And it doesn't mean stop the entire job. You can stop the activity that you're involved in. Get your supervisor involved. You can get me involved and stop, reevaluate. Let's talk about what we're doing. Let's update, the job safety plan, the pre-task plan, the SFEMA, whatever form you're using, and then proceed on before something happens. Sometimes it's a must. Yes, sir. Sometimes it is. It definitely is. If the task changes, yes, that is correct. And especially when, you go from, hey, toolbox talk right in the morning. Okay, we're going to erect steel. We're going to use the crane. We're going to check our rigging. Watch out for pinch points. Watch out for, sharp edges, caught between, struck by. How are we going to mitigate them? We're going to use the right PPE. We're going to use the right lifting techniques. We're going to use the crane to lift instead of us manually lifting, right? But nobody in there talked about, and I'm just giving a scenario, talked about, we're going to use the fork truck, right? And I'm here rigging, and then all of a sudden, here comes the fork truck. I don't see it. It's a new hazard. We need to stop. My hands go up. Hey, stop what you're doing. Pause. Why are we using the fork truck? We have the crane here. Well, the fork truck is used to transport the material, so that way we can rig it up and keep rolling, And again, I know what it's like to hang steel, so those types of things. You can stop your area, get your supervisor involved, because then he has to be involved on why we're stopping the work. Or if not, he's going to come over there, and I've seen it happen. You stop work because you're trying to get your head wrapped around of what's going on. Supervisor comes started in. Hey, why are y'all stopping? Get production. Let's go. We got to get these pieces up in the air. Timeout, shipmate. Hold up. Something changed. We have to reevaluate to make sure everybody's on the same page. So that way somebody doesn't skip a step and get hurt. And then the supervisors, once you're able to explain it to them like that, they're like, oh, okay, I got you. I understand now. Donald said, let's be real. You can't be a jackass to people. It simply doesn't work. Understanding their situation, show compassion and empathy. Get them involved. Amen. And again, you can't be a jackass to people. But on that note right there, sometimes you have to be a jackass to people because that's how they learn. And I hate to say it, but sometimes you have to be that asshole on the job site in order for them to be like, damn, like, am I missing something? Or I mean, he's being an asshole to me because, and they get it, and then you come back and show that compassion and empathy and be like, how can I make your day better? What can I do for you to make you successful throughout the day? And they're like, damn, Pedro has a point. And like they come in and they see Donald and they're like, damn, Donald had a point yesterday. You know, you can't always be a jackass to people. Some people need it. Some people just blatantly need to be, you know, talked to in a certain way. If they start mouthing off and, you know, you're trying to, you know, conduct an audit and they're impeding that, or it's one of those things that happens in our line of work, being, you know, safety professionals, HR professionals, work culture consultants. You'll have, you know, C-suite people telling you, hey, and sometimes they just need to hear the truth. You need to talk to them being, you know, in that jackass and that asshole, say, you are really messing up. You're not listening. You're not using that EQ, that emotional intelligence that you should be using when you're out there on the job site. So yeah, it's great to see everybody in the chat. I love it. Again, y'all can call up if y'all want to. I'll put the line down there. But again, agreed to a point. Elaborate on that. I like these discussions. They're great. These fireside chats, they bring so much. So, and as you can tell, our Halloween special is coming up. We have Caitlin Frank and Bob Marshall coming to the show on Thursday, the 29th. So that is going to be our Halloween special. I figured I'd have the background and put, you know, my little homie right here, little zombie dude, in our background, and make sure that you get the ambience and the feel. It's going to be good. We're going to be talking about all things construction. Caitlin's a superintendent. Bob is a project manager. So we're going to get the, you know, and again, I'm a safety professional. What better, you know, Halloween special than kind of talking about some of the scary shit that we go through on all sides. Caitlin, from a superintendent, you know, standpoint, Bob Marshall from, you know, a project manager standpoint, kind of how do we merge and gel as a unit when you get to a job site, what type of stuff that we got going on. So, you know, stay tuned. Check us out on Thursday. Also, you know, not to send you guys over to somebody else's live stream, but my man Reggie Waterman, shout out to Reggie. He has his Discover Your Other Self live stream going on about the same time on Thursday. So if you get a chance, check ours out. Go check his out. Connect with him. As well as on that Thursday, on the 29th, Linda Martin, The Safety Struggle. She is actually hosting a live stream event in the day. So if you get a chance, go to safetyfm.io. Grab your tickets. They're going to be talking big safety. You're going to have Sheldon Primus. You're going to have Dr. Jay Allen. And you're going to have, let me see, who is the other guest? Brent. Mr. Brent on there talking about big safety. So go check them out. You know, and I'm, again, plugging all the people that I engage with. They have really good content. Again, if you haven't seen Brittany Lindhart, Spill Your Heart with Lindhart, again, those are conversation that she has with her guests are top notch. Go check her live streams out. I think she's booked until December, so it'll definitely be good. Check her out, follow her. Oh man, the Lorax. You know who the Lorax is. Senor Enrique, what's going on, my man? Good to see you. Good to see you in the chat. So, and again, I put all these people out there, and I don't mind everybody that's listening here going to check those out, because again, they bring value. They, and again, this is what we're here to do. We're here to bring you value, some content, some kind of value out of what we're doing and what we're putting out here. So if you're able to catch, Rich Cardona's live streams, Donald said he's looking forward to it. I know my man Enrique has a live stream that he does. Have not been able to catch one yet, but I know he has it. I know it's about leadership. So it's definitely good to plug everybody that's in here, that's been in the chat doing a damn thing. And that's what we do. So it is 7:40 for those that are listening on the radio station. Again, thank you for tuning in with us. If you're just getting here, hey, we've been going strong for about 45 minutes. We're definitely looking forward to, getting the value out there, the content out there to you guys. And again, this will be turned into a podcast, which you can consume later whenever you want to come back to it. So again, all the content that we put out, whether it be live now, whether it serves purpose 2 weeks from now, you can go check it out. Enrique said, we are a community, one team, one fight. Amen. Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern. Catch them. Go check them out. So anybody want to get on the line, go ahead and hit me up. But yeah, just wanted to bring a little bit on the claims management side, talk a little bit about leadership, kind of discuss what's going on here at the X Factor of Safety. So with that being said, we don't have any callers. It's all good. 47 minutes. I'm going to play you guys a little ad that I will be using on the radio station. Y'all tell me what you think. You're in the mix with your favorite DJ, Pedro Macio.
Coming to you live from the Safety FM network, safetyfm.com, safetyfm.live, and the Safety FM app.
So I made that. Can you believe that? I made that. It's pretty cool. Some new skills that I'm trying to hone in on and learn. So shout out Roger Campbell. Thank you for tuning in, giving us a like on the Facebook. But y'all know where to find me at thexfactorsafety.com. The X Factor of Safety on everything except for Twitter. On Twitter, it's safetyx_factor. Y'all can always leave me a DM on any of those platforms, anywhere. Find me on the podcast, anywhere where you listen, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, all of those across the multiverse. And I'm going to use it, Jay. So when you listen to this, I'm going to use it. The multiverse of the Safety FM network, safetyfm.com.live, the Safety FM app. So find us, reach out to us, hit me up. If you want to be on the show, reach out. I'm always down to have somebody on the show. I'm always down to have guests. So if you know anybody that would like the show, send them over. Like, share, subscribe. This is for you. This is for everybody that's tuning in right now. So with that being said, it was great. I greatly appreciate everybody that was in the chat, everybody that commented. Shout out to everybody that was watching. So ask yourself that one question. What is your X factor? Until next time, we'll see you later.